texting is cheap. It's cheaper than PPC.
Right, but if texting is
But if it goes
now
away.
out,
Yeah. There's a few things. One, I mean, cold call is going to be an easier transition from texting than a lot of other channels because you're used to skip tracing, getting the data. You're used to those low quality prospecting type leads, and your acquisitions process might be built for those. So that's kind of the first thing I would look towards. But there's something about being in a marketing channel where you're doing something that people don't really want you to be doing that's not very comforting. That's the reason texting is going away, right? And cold call is not necessarily immune to that, right?
it's not, but people are tolerating it.
Yeah, people are tolerating it more than they did texting. But
Yeah.
my point with that being, when selecting marketing channels, would look beyond next month. I know it's kind of hard, but I would look far into the future. And when you're looking far into the future, digital channels are growing. That's the trend.
Right.
Cold call, texting, telemarketing is dying. That's the trend. So there's theoretically a lot of value there. But to switch from a texting-driven company to a digital marketing-driven company is a lot more than just taking some money and putting it into a different channel.
Right. So taking $1,500 from texting, which was you were doing before when you're running like a solopreneur or a small operation.
Yeah.
Taking $1,500 from texting, pulling a list, skip tracing it, and text blasting it. Taking that and just dumping into PPC, you're saying is not necessarily the wise thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's a plan for success.
Okay.
So you need to, if you're going to do digital marketing, you have to prepare your business operation for digital marketing. I could tell you the operations that you would have from texting are going to be way different. You're going to be way heavier on staff, and you're going to be, it's almost like with texting, you start with the leads, right? And your whole job is to sift through those and find the good ones.
Right.
And you assume that every lead is crap until you can prove that it's not. Digital marketing is it's different.
Right.
You have to train your team differently. You have to assume that a lead is motivated until you can absolutely prove that that lead isn't. You have to go on every appointment. You have to be quick. We could talk about all the stuff, but you need to retrain your team on that kind of thing. And the other thing is, for most people, I wouldn't recommend PPC specifically in that scenario. I'd say Facebook is the channel to look to if your budget is small. And to give you an idea of what I consider a small budget, the minimum budget we work with as a company is like $3,000 a month, all in. By the time they pay for our fees, by the time they pay for ad spend, all that kind of stuff. And at that budget range, I wouldn't really recommend PPC. I think PPC often needs a little bit more budget. The only exception there being someone who does some type of wide form of advertising geographically, like if you're doing it on a nationwide basis or covering several states or something like that, which can be a good strategy. That's where PPC is a little bit more forgiving. But the tough thing with a small budget on PPC is you get a small number of leads, and it's the return's there. If you look over a really long time period, people don't tend to do that though.
Right.
And it's just like you said with mail. It's the same thing with digital. You've got to give it that 6 months.
So you're of the belief that if you're going to go into digital, strap on, this is going to be a ride. This is not an instant, it's not instant noodle. This is not microwave success.
Yeah, the thing about it is I'm a very conservative person, right? You're going to probably talk to a lot of people who will tell you, oh, it's super easy. You just turn it on and I got all these deals.
Right.
And that does happen sometimes. But to have that as your strategy is to put the success of your business in the hands of luck, basically, because things don't always work right away. I prefer to use a repeatable process that consistently produces success. So if you look at, some people will have success in a short time period, but if you look at the percentage of people that will be successful in a longer time period, basically the longer the time period, the more likely it is.
Yeah.
And I would rather bet on something that's more sure and be more into it than I would kind of dabble and pull out if it doesn't work right away.